So, good morning, everyone. Online students, can you hear my voice? Okay. Yesterday, I started introduction to exception handling, right? Slowly. The disturbance which is occurred from the application is known as exception. The process which is used to handle the exception is known as exception handling process. In exception handling process, we are using three blocks: try block, catch block, and finally block. Today, I'll explain bit clearly with the program. Right? Yesterday I written theoretical. Today programmatical will come. Right? Now. Right. Define throwable. Write it. Define throwable. Throwable is a class from java.lang package. Throwable is a class from java.lang package and which is root of exception handling process. Root of exception handling process. Throwable is a class from java.lang package and which is root of exception handling process. Root means the total exception handling depends upon this throwable class. This throwable class is extended into the following two subclasses. One is error class. One is exception class. Error class and exception class. Error class and exception class. Right. Hierarchy of throwable. Hierarchy means how it is available in library. We are working with one predefined class, no? Java.lang package means a predefined class. This is. We are trying to work with one predefined class coming from the library. So how it is available, I want to know, sir. Right. So like this, you have to keep it. Throwable is one class. Throwable, one class here. This throwable class is coming from library Java lang package. This throwable class will have two extension classes. One is error, one is exception. One class is error. One class is exception. Extends. This is hierarchical inheritance. Extends and extends. This error is extended to one abstract class, virtual machine error. Virtual machine error. This virtual machine error is one abstract class, extends. Class can be extended to abstract class. It is possible. Here one class is there. So runtime exception. Runtime exception. This is one class. Here to here extends. So from the library, it is an example of hierarchical inheritance example. This throwable having one parent, serializable, one parent. From the library, one parent. This serializable is interface. Is an interface and it is linked to throwable. This is implements. Sorry, if two inheritances combined, that is hybrid. Two or more, if you combine, that is hybrid inheritance. This is hybrid now. This is single, this is hierarchical. Now this serializable will come from IO package, java.io. Java.io. It will come. So this is the minimum hierarchy you should remember. This throwable will have three methods. print stack trace, one method. ToString, one method. Get message, one method. Some other methods also available, but you should remember these three methods from the throwable. Three important methods you should remember from throwable. Right. This is the hierarchy. If possible, write 1 minute, all of you, because it is an interview question. Can you show the hierarchy of throwable? Because it comes to Advanced Java JSP. Third unit will be there, JSP in Advanced Java. There this hierarchy will come. So you should remember this hierarchy, you should remember. So this is from library actually. How that throwable available in the library, I drawn it. So throwable is an example of class coming from the library, example of class. Right. Let me show that once to you from the library once. Virtual machine error, runtime exception. Right, look here. From the library, I'll show it. I'll open throwable. So first I'll show serializable, I'll show first. This serializable. Do remember from anonymous inner classes, serializable is an example of marker interface. Means empty members which do not have any members. So see there. Sir, serializable is an marker interface. Serializable. Empty. So Why empty interfaces are there means to activate some algorithms, they'll be there. This serializable will support to convert your object into binary in the future. Zeros and ones is going to support to convert your object into 0 and 1. Why 0 and 1 means to make that object travel on the network. Whenever you want to move the object on the network, object will not move. It has to move in the form of 0, 1. So somewhere on demand, we are going to convert that object into stream 0 and 1. For that, serializable will support. So today, the serializable is sitting as a parent for Throbal. So Throbal is coming from Lang. Lang, Throbal. From today, the components will come from library. From today. Up to now, you learned what are they? Class I know, sir. Interface I know, sir. From now, they will come from library. So huge components, they'll enter from library. Can you see Throbal? Right. This Throbal implements from where now? Serializable. Throbal is a class. Of course, many methods are there. No need to remember all methods. Remember 3 methods here now. 1. Print stack trace. Can you see this? This without parameter you remember. And one more is toString method. One more is get message method. These 3 methods you should remember. Now, take exception. Java.lang.exception. According to the diagram, exception should be extended from Throbal. You can see exception extends from where now? Throbal. Exception not having a methods, only constructors are there. Exception do not have a methods. It has what now? Constructors. The same way, you can see one runtime exception. You can see runtime exception is extended from exception. So open that. So it is a runtime exception. This coming from where now? Exception. Actually, in your packages chapter, packages are 2 types. Predefined, user-defined. Predefined first package is Lang. Lang stands for language. It's a default package, automatically available to all the programs. From that Lang package, today components are coming. Now, when it comes to error here, according to the diagram, error extends from Throbal. So, error. Java.lang.error extends from Throbal. Error is a class. According to the diagram, virtual machine error. Virtual machine error. Machine error. This virtual machine error is abstract class. No, can you see this? Abstract class coming from where now? Error. All have understood that minimum hierarchy you understood, right? That minimum thing you have to remember. Why means that exception object will come to JSP. Advanced Java, JSP will be loaded into one container of server. The container name is Jasper. In that Jasper, 9 objects will come. Among that, one object is exception. This much of link is there. So students should remember that hierarchy. It will help you because auto-generated servers are there in the market. Tomcat server, JBoss server, WebSphere, WebLogix. Many servers will be used in the market. That servers will have containers. Among that container, Jasper, one container. In that container, JSP will be loaded. When JSP loads, 9 objects will come. Among that, one object is exception object. On that day, your trainer will ask, do you know the hierarchy of Throbal? If you know Throbal is the parent of exception, you can imagine the methods. That much of link is there because I given a time to draw it. They'll ask an interview question also in it. So what is the hierarchy of Throbal? Do you know? They'll ask. Their intention is nothing but in the future, you will understand the server code because they'll ask this question to you. Okay, right. Now, right. Make a siding. These 2 classes, let me reveal. Error class. Right. Generally, in your application, errors will come. Any syntactical error, logical error, this kind of definitions your C trainers will write normally. So our visual is like this. Sir, for us, JDK is one environment. Whenever we want to write some Java programs, we downloaded JDK. Java Development Kit. I downloaded. So this JDK is nothing but Java environment. This is our environment. In this environment, two components are available. Majorly two components. One is Java compiler for compilation. Java compiler for compilation. JVM for execution. Majorly two parts. Then libraries will be there, external linkers will be there, all extra parts. Two parts majorly I had. So this is our environment, we had it. Now, we written one program, sir, here. We written one program that is called source code. Sir, this is our source code. The source code we are sending for compilation using compiler. We perform compilation using compiler. Now the compiler will perform the compilation and check. If the compilation process successful, bytecode will come. Nothing but compiled code will come. So here bytecode will come. Now we are giving this bytecode for JVM. JVM will take this bytecode and perform executions anyway. Here execution performed and result will come out. That is our visual. Our program result will come. All of you got it right. Now, here three disturbances possibilities there for us. Three disturbances it may occur. One, when the compilation is going on, the disturbance may occur. When the compilation is going on, the disturbance may occur. When the execution is going on, the disturbance may occur. In your application, while compilation, the disturbance may come. While execution, the disturbance may come. If not, the disturbance may occur from the environment. The disturbance may occur from the environment. Means JDK problem, compiler problem, JVM problem will come. Example, in this room also, maybe my mic problem may come, maybe my screen problem may come, maybe my table shaking will come. These are all environment problems. The environment disturbance is known as error. What is error now? The disturbance which is occurred from the environment is known as error. Syntactical error, logical error, that sector different. But when it is compared with exception, what is error? So the disturbance which is occurred from the environment. Make a statement. The disturbance which is occurred from the environment. The disturbance which is occurred from the environment is known as error. The disturbance which is occurred from the environment. Environment means JDK problem, compiler problem, and so on. Suppose my mic is not working. That is environmental disturbance. I must not take the screwdriver and I must set it. That is not my work, no. What I will do now, I'll call somebody. I'll ask them to change my mic. Same. If JDK is not working, change it. Don't try to correct it. Change it. Understood the statement? So, error handling process not there. We must not handle it. We must show that error to the user or anybody, and you have to change that. So, there is no, like this, 1 minute. We have to show that error, no? Whenever you want to show that error, somebody must be the super class. Then only you can handle that error. For that, java.lang.error class is the super class of all errors occurred from the environment. Make a statement. Java.lang.error class is the super class of all the errors occurred from the environment. Java.lang.error class is super class of all the errors occurred from the environment. We must not handle the errors. We must not try to correct the errors. Simply you can say, there is no concept of error handling process. There is no concept of error handling process. We never handle the error. There is no concept of error handling process. Now, just now we written the exception, no? Anyway, right. Our target is exception. Exception means application disturbance. I written yesterday. You are a application developer, environment developer. Louder. Are you clear? You are application developer. If anything goes wrong, you should handle. You are not environment developer. If anything goes wrong, don't handle it. Change it. That's the difference. So developers never consider error occurred from the JDK. Even in your advanced Java also, when you are loading Tomcat, problem will come. Change the Tomcat. Eclipse problem will come. Change the Eclipse. JDK problem will change the JDK. Because they are environments for you. Your applications are answer not coming, null is coming, sir. Answer not coming, 0 coming, means you must handle it. Understand this? Because you are the developer in the application. So for you, error important, exception important. Exception important because our unit is exception handling, not error handling. Make a statement. The disturbance which is occurred from the application is known as exception. I repeat it. Exception. Java dot lang dot exception is the superclass of all the exceptions raised from the application. Java.lang.exception is the superclass of all the exceptions raised from the application. Sir, all means how many, sir? Now, all the exceptions raised from the application are categorized into two types. Into two types. Unchecked exceptions and checked exceptions. Unchecked exceptions and checked exceptions. Unchecked exceptions and checked exceptions. Now look here, this only. These are two exceptions. This is black color here. What I drawn is error. Because disturbance coming from the environment. Now in your application, two stages, compile time and execution time. Execution time means unchecked exceptions. Unchecked exceptions. You can say runtime exceptions, you can say. Sir, why it is unchecked? The program coming from compilation to execution. In the compilation, you not checked. In the compilation, you not checked. Because it entered into execution. The term is unchecked. Understand now? No. Compiler checked and raised. Known as what now? Checked exceptions. Known as what now? Checked exceptions, you can say. Or you can say compile time exceptions. Compile time exceptions. Understood the term? Say or no to me. Right. Checked and unchecked. Right. Write the definition. Right. Unchecked exceptions. The exceptions which are not identified. The exceptions which are not identified by the compiler at compilation stage. The exceptions which are not identified by the compiler at compilation stage will be raised at execution stage. If you don't identify at compilation stage, they'll come to execution. If you identify in the compilation stage, they will not come to execution. No. The exceptions which are not identified by the compiler at compilation stage will be raised at execution stage are known as unchecked exceptions, or you can say runtime exceptions, or you can say execution time exceptions. Anything. Time exceptions. Seven to eight interview questions will be there. Only short chapter this in. Some almost 8 questions will be there. That 8 questions you have to prepare correctly. This also that only exception, error, checked exception, unchecked exception, what is throwable, next to throw, throws. Finally, yesterday written, but more clarity will come like this. 8 to 9 questions will be there, not more than that, theoretically. If you read that 8 questions correctly, you can answer the interview. Practical anyway, it will come because from today, in all the chapters, exception handling will be there. Strings, exception handling, next arrays, exception handling. All chapters will be exception handling. So you'll become perfect in practical, no issue. But theoretically, 8 to 9 questions will be there. Whatever the definitions I'm writing, read them carefully for interview and speak it. Now, these unchecked exceptions are categorized into 2 types. Make it. These unchecked exceptions are categorized into 2 types. These unchecked exceptions are categorized into 2 types. Predefined unchecked exceptions. Predefined unchecked exceptions. User defined unchecked exceptions. Predefined unchecked exceptions. User defined unchecked exceptions. Predefined means already available. User defined means we are raising. The unchecked exceptions which are already defined and available. The unchecked exceptions which are already defined and available are known as predefined unchecked exceptions. Predefined unchecked exceptions. The unchecked exceptions which are already defined and available are known as predefined unchecked exceptions. You can say predefined unchecked exceptions. You can say already defined and available. That's the meaning. Popular examples for predefined. Example, java.lang.number format exception. Java.lang.arithmetic exception means calculation problem, means arithmetic. Java.util.input mismatch exception. These are the popular ones generally. Right, look here. Now let me show this exception once. So in our program now, I am taking one application exception handling process. I am writing all in a single project. I'll write it. P1 I'll take and P2 I'll take. Under P2, new class demo exception 1. Right. Import java.util. See, known program. Read one basic salary, calculate total salary. You've done many times this one. I'm doing the same. So here, scanner S is equal to new scanner of system.in. Lastly, we have to close it. That's the rules. So system.out.println. Enter the basic salary of an employee. Int basic salary is equal to integer dot parseInt s dot next line. Sir, why are you using parseInt? Actually not needed. I can use s dot next int also I can use. But to raise that number format exception I am using. Okay, right. Basic salary came, float, total salary is equal to basic salary plus HRA plus DA roughly. So here 0.78F into basic salary, 0.52F into basic salary. I am calculating the total salary. After that, print that employee basic salary, you print it. Employee basic salary is basic salary. Now system.out.println employee total salary is equal to total salary. This is normal program, what you know. Okay, right. I am running this program now. So basic salary is some 17,000 I will take. Some answer will come. No issue here. Okay, right. Now, I am entering the basic salary as some 12,000.56. I want integer value, no? Yes or no? Na? Here, exception will come. What is the exception name now? Number format exception. Sir, exception is coming. I want integer value, but you're putting a float value. Now, enter the basic salary, Java. I want integer value, you're putting a string value. Number format. Means, sir, in this line, exception is there for non-int value. Sir, exception for for non-integer value. If you enter other than integer value here, line number 9, one disturbance is coming. You have to handle it. Handle it means what? You must give a message to the user. Enter only integer value, I must say. Whenever I want to handle this, I must write all statements in try catch like this. Try catch. I must write. I am writing a try catch or not now, right? Okay. Now, this is end of try. Yesterday's statement. Try block will hold the statements which are going to raise the exception. So, these statements are raising the exception. I'll cut it. I'll paste here. All of you understood this? I declared the statements. Sir, whenever you kept here, where is the spelling now? Whenever you kept here now, I made a statement. What is the execution behavior of try block? When exception raised in try block, then one object is created for exception type class and reference of object is thrown onto catch block. So like this, sir, this is our code. That is our code. So this is our code. In the try block, the code is there. These are the lines available in the try block. Sir, this is one try block. Inside this, the code is there. The code is available there or not now, like this. Now, exception is raising here. For float input or non-integer input. The exception is raising there, no? Yes or no? Na? Right. So that statement is, when exception raised in try block, if the statements are in the try block, when the exception raised, one object created for exception type class. Output came now. What is exception type class now? Number format exception. That is known as exception type class. Predefined, no? Coming from the library. Java.lang.number format exception. Means when the exception is raised here, one object is created for exception type class. One object is created for exception type class. From this line, one object is created. Exception raised. Object created. Object created for exception type class. Here exception type class is number format exception. Number format exception class. From the library, for that class, this object created. that object created. For this number format exception, the object is created. Of course, some details are recorded here. I am not highlighting. Now, after object declaration, what is it now? Reference of object is thrown onto catch block. That is a rule. Sir, the reference is thrown onto catch block. So here, I must write the catch block to hold that address. Observe this point or not now? So, one variable. The variable is going to hold address 0x89. The address belongs to number format exception. So, here, number format exception, because you are going to hold address of number format. All of you understood this diagram, says or no to me? Right. Now the address is coming to here. Now that object address available on OB. OB declared by the type number format exception. The reason the object belongs to number format exception. Now, what are the lines declared here? What are the lines here? This is not executed. This is not executed. This is not executed. This is not executed. Because the execution control directly coming to catch block. When exception raised, the statements declared after exception raised line will be skipped from the execution. They will not be executed because the control will come to catch. When the control comes to catch here now, here you can put a message. Whatever the message, you can keep it. I written yesterday, see there. Catch block will hold the reference thrown from the try block and the required message is generated. So now I am writing a catch block. Catch number format. Number format exception OB. Now put one message here. Some message. System dot out dot print ln. You can say, what is the message now? Enter only integer value for basic salary. That's a message. Now, the message is coming or not, let me run it. Now, I entered 17,000. If I entered correctly, exception will not come. Suppose I entered some 13,000.67. Then enter only integer value for basic salary. That's called handling. Means without going the means exception outside, we are handling and giving a message. All of you got this flow? Right. Sir, where is finally block, sir? Finally block is not mandatory. It is optional. If you want, you can use. If not, no need to use. But try catch is mandatory block. So when the exception raised here, control is coming. Now you understood yesterday's try catch definition now? Okay, right. Now the statements. According to your programming, I said, what are the resources opened outside? You have to close them. That's a rule. Your resource opened, you are closing here. When the exception raised, control will come to catch block directly. Yes or no? Na? When it is coming to catch block directly, yes dot close is not executed. Means resource is not closed. But you have to close it. Understood this point now, right? So whenever you want to close it, then your other said, write finally block for resource closing operations, write finally block. All have understood why final block came now, right? Now, whenever I write s dot close in finally block, error is coming. Sir, why error? The reason, this s variable declared inside the try block now. When you declared inside the try block, that is local to try. Want to make non-local, bring that scanner, declare outside. The syntax. Right. Now we understood this program, all of you, right? So what kind of exception I handle now? Number format exception I handled. So this is the diagram for predefined exception. This is for predefined, means definitely one object created, reference is coming. Now this diagram is predefined exception. Right. Now, sir, in this program, one more problem is there. Basic salary minus 12,000. So total salary minus 27,000. Who will work for negative value? Sir, we have to handle it. Means now we have to write one condition. The condition is basic salary must be minimum 12,000. If you entered less than 12,000, raise the exception. Now we are going to define one condition, raise the exception, known as user defined unchecked exception. I am going to introduce, make a statement. All of you understood that diagram, all of you? Right. I am going forward. Forward is, sir, user defined checked exception I am entering. The unchecked exceptions which are defined and raised by the programmer. The unchecked exceptions which are defined and raised by the programmer are known as user defined unchecked exceptions. The unchecked exceptions which are defined and raised by the programmer are known as user defined unchecked exceptions. We use the following process to define and raise. To raise user defined unchecked exceptions. We use the following process to define and raise user defined unchecked exceptions. Step 1. The class must be extended from java.lang.exception class. That's the first step. The class must be extended from java.lang.exception. The class must be extended from java.lang.exception. Right, like this. I'll be doing also. Whatever the class available here, demo exception 1, it should be extends from exception. Exception is a predefined class, no? Right. Okay. Now, second step. Step 2. The class must be declared with. The class must be declared with. The class must be declared with. Parameterized constructor with string as parameter. String as parameter. The class must be declared with parameterized constructor with the string as parameter. So string will be the parameter. See there. One parameterized constructor here. Inside this, one constructor you must write. Constructor means having the same name of the class. So public demo exception 1, where string as the parameter, string some message. This parameterized constructor will pass the message to parent class by using super of. You know super of, no? Right. Child class constructor will call parent class constructor by using super of and give the parameter. Okay, right. Make it. Step 3. This parameterized constructor will pass message to parent class using super of. Parent class means exception only. Right. Now, up to here you are clear? Right. Okay. Step 4. Declare exception statements. Nothing but all statements within the try block. Already try block is there, but I'm writing it as a point. Declare all statements in try block. Means try block is mandatory. So already all the statements are within the try block only. Declare all statements in try block. Right. Already try block is there. Right. Step 5. Now write exception condition. Step wise. define exception condition. Define exception condition. You want to raise one exception, what is the condition? Basic salary less than 12,000 means exception. That is the condition. So write that exception condition. After reading this basic salary, if this exception is not there, we are writing one if condition here. If that basic salary less than 12,000, this is exception condition. All of understood exception condition? Right. If that condition is true, exception. That is the meaning actually. Exception means basic salary less than 12,000 means what, sir? I am raising exception. Raising exception means what? Sir, raising exception means creating object, no? Yes or no? Na? Here, who created object now? Sir, automatically object created here. The reason it is a built-in exception. But now we are in user defined. So you should create the object. The statement, step 6. If exception condition is true, if exception condition is true, then create object for user defined class. Create object for user defined class and pass exception message as parameter while object creation. If exception condition is true, then create object for user defined class and pass exception message as parameter while object creation. Exception message as parameter while object creation. Right. The 6th step is like this. See there. Sir, if the condition is true here, you said create object for user defined class. This one. The exception is from which class now? Demo exception 1. Create it. Demo exception 1 OB. If not, D equal to new demo exception 1. I made a statement here. While object creation, see there, pass exception message as parameter while object creation. So, while object creation, pass the message. What is the message here now? Invalid basic salary. The message is coming or not? You entered invalid basic salary. Sir, in the diagram, here we created object for number format exception here. Here we are creating object for demo exception 1. Exception means class, sir. Yes. Exception means class name. In this first floor, 2 classes are running. That one and this one. Now, management will get a message. There is some disturbance occurred from the Reliance building, they'll say. First floor. Then they will ask a class name. Which class? Python class or Java class? That is Python, this is Java, no. They'll ask the class name or not now. So when they want to say the exception, they must say the class name. In the first case, what is the exception? Number format exception. They're saying the class name. In the second case, what is the exception now? Demo exception 1. You're saying the class name. There the class name is predefined. So it is a predefined exception. Here the class name is user defined exception. That only concept. There also object will come automatically. Here object I am creating, sir. Because user defined exception, no, I am creating. When the condition is true, I am only creating object. The message I am passing. This message will be taken by the constructor. Constructor will give the message to parent. Parent means exception coming from the library, no, they will take care. Now, next what, sir? See the diagram. Next what? After object creation, what you done here now? Sir, the reference is coming to catch block. Yes or no? Na? Here also you must do. Next step is throw the object reference onto catch block using throw keyword. Now you are introducing throw keyword. Make a statement. Step 7. Throw the object reference onto catch block. Throw the object reference onto catch block using double quotes, using throw keyword. Using throw keyword. Using throw keyword. Throw the object reference onto catch block using throw keyword. So, the object reference available on DE. Yes or no? Na? So, throw that. Throw DE. I am throwing a DE or not? No. Manual I am throwing throw DE. DE means object reference. Now, to hold this, I must write the catch block, no? For the first exception, this catch block is there. For second exception, again you are throwing what now? Sir, I am throwing DE. DE means what now? Demo exception 1. You must write demo exception 1 here. 1D. All of understood this? Says or no to me, right? So I am keeping 2 at a time for you. For this is built in, this is user defined. I am keeping both. Now the exception will come to catch block. Make it. Steps 8. Throw the object reference onto catch block using throw keyword. Now, declare catch block to hold object reference and generate message. Not generate, display message. And display message. Whatever the message you given, no, that message you can display. Right. What it will do now? This catch block. Already message is there in the object already. Print the message. O, it's not OB. TE dot get message. In the diagram, I given a get message method, no here. I given get message, that message method will come. How it comes, I'll draw the diagram. Don't worry. Okay, right. Get message method. Now, run it. Steps are over. This is the last one. Message came now, right? So the 8 steps you have to follow to define and raise one user defined checked exception. See there, run it. Sir, if I entered correctly, no issue. Answer will come. Suppose I entered wrongly Java. Enter only integer value for basic salary. First exception is coming. 12.34. Enter only integer value for basic salary. Suppose I entered 1200, then invalid basic salary, because 1200 must be, sorry, basic salary must be minimum 12,000 and above. All have understood the process first? Okay. So this program I'll paste for you. Still diagram not completed. The second diagram I must draw. Second diagram I'll draw tomorrow, not today. It takes time because I must show the classes and I must show how get message method came. I must show and what is the difference between get message, print stack trace, toString. This three methods difference is what? It takes time. Means almost 30 minutes it takes to draw the diagram. Today, first diagram I drawn, one idea came. Yes or no? Na? 20% one idea came. No. Tomorrow more clarity will come. First day, first program, it takes time. So somewhere here you observed that, okay, one object is coming. The reference is coming to catch block that you observed. So user defined exception, I written 8 steps. Tomorrow I'll explain that 8 steps with a diagram. Then clarity will come. Then you can start assignment. It's a point. Right. Example program for it. In this example program, I took P2 demo exception 1.java. This is one main class. Right. Followed by, I'll paste that diagram. Checked exception is there, no? That diagram I'll paste. Tomorrow we start with the diagram only. That is user defined exception diagram. We'll start it. All of it theoretically okay? Says right, okay. Right. I'll update the notes to you, run that program and come. Right. Take a break. Thank you very much for today. Read the total notes. Tomorrow I'll explain that. Right. Now time not sufficient for me to start the discussion. Right. Take a break. Only